Just like that, we are back in business. Welcome back to Truth or Wacky Wonderful Wednesday. All right. So, I didn't do a stream last night. Let me set these up. No stream on Truth or Tuesday. It took me all day to finish making that top 10 scripted plays video. So I decided to push back the stream to tonight. So it is officially Wacky Wonderful Wednesday. How is everybody doing tonight? You guys doing good? All right. I'm Riggs. Said no Elmo voice tonight, please. For the love of God. I promise I will not do that voice at all because I know how much it annoys you. Sometimes Elmo annoys himself, but Elmo can't help the way that Elmo talks. So Elmo just has to be himself, you know? All right, sorry, buddy. You asked for it. By you asking me to not do it, I had to do it, you see? All right. So who else do we got here? We got I'm Rigged said, and he's sending a donation, said, can you please give us a lesson on the difference between lose and loose, your and others. Make sure you a-hole about it. All right, check it out, guys. Well, let me brighten my light a bit. Check it out. I know there's a lot of you out there who don't know the difference between your and with the apostrophe. So you just use Y-O-U-R for every single sentence and you just skip the one with the apostrophe. It's really, really easy. Check it out. That one with the apostrophe, that means you are. It literally is the same thing as you are. You just stick the you are together and you got the apostrophe you're. So whenever you're saying you are funny, Jake, you want the apostrophe one. If you say Y-O-U-R funny, Jake, that's grammatically incorrect and you look like a moron who didn't pass second grade because you don't know the freaking difference between your and your. How can all of you fucking people who supposedly graduated high school not know the fucking difference? You know what it is? It's because you just don't care. You think that you can just type whatever words you want and everybody's going to know what you mean. Yeah, we do know what you mean, but you still look like a fucking idiot. There you go. Was I a good enough asshole there? Oh yeah, you people who say, you were wrong about the Dolphins. I knew they were going to lose. And then you spell lose with two O's. I know when you were in first grade, they told you if you hear two O's that it makes a ooh sound. But in the case of lose, that's not true. That would be loose. Two O's, loose. One O, lose. That's right. If a team is going to win or lose, it's one O. If it's tight or loose, then it's two O's. Lose, one O. Loose, two O's. Learn the fucking difference, morons. There you go. Was that good? Hey, it was his request that I be an asshole about it. I'm actually in a really good mood. I'm only pretending to be pissed off because of this guy sending me his money and requesting that I be an a-hole about the whole thing. I'm in a fantabulous mood tonight. Everything's great. Don't anybody get scared away by my pretend aggression. All right, you assholes. All right. There we go. Starting off wonderful, wacky Wednesday with some hardcore aggression. All right. And I see that the trending news that is up to the minute news, I guess you could call it, right? The Jimmy Kimmel show being pulled off the air. I'm seeing the reports right now. Over what? Comments over that one guy? Yeah. And watch, there's a bunch of people who are going to be like, good! I'm glad! See, they're going to use a hack like Jimmy Kimmel to push censorship of free speech. And a bunch of people are going to be like, yes, anyone who says anything bad about that one guy who supposedly died deserves to be censored. Please censor us. Yes, we want to be censored. I don't want to hear anything insensitive about that one guy who supposedly died. If I hear anyone say anything insensitive about that one guy who supposedly died, I think that they should be fired. They should never have a job. They should go to jail. Those people should die. Yeah, you're not allowed to celebrate someone's death now. It's too insensitive. So now you got conservatards begging for censorship of free speech without even realizing that they just got fucking duped like a bunch of tards that they are. If anyone says anything insensitive about someone who dies, then they don't deserve to make money. They don't deserve to have a life. They deserve to die. Oh, really? Because I put out a video saying that I'm not sad that Ozzy or Hulk died. And a bunch of people praised me. But now, if you say that you're not sad that that other dude died recently, oh, you deserve to be censored? You don't deserve to have a job anymore? Funny how all that works, right? All right. Gotta love those conservatards who got totally duped by that shit. And now they're spouting off about actual conspiracy theories. I'm not the type of guy who likes to use the word conspiracy theory, conspiracy theorist, right? But in this case, you got a bunch of magatards and conservatards spouting off about conspiracy theory garbage that's planted and made up by the people who duped them in the first place. Oh, there was multiple gunmen on the roof, and oh, it was the cameraman. It was a professional hit ordered by Israel. Okay. Yeah, and it was a professional acting job by the spouse, right? Was that ordered by Israel? Was the wife supposed to do that ridiculous acting job as part of the professional hit? Ah, fuck. So glad people are finally starting to shut up about that a little bit, but it is still mainstream news. All right, so who do we got all here tonight? We got Holden up in the house. I knew this would be better than my shit performance last night. All right. Moneyman Wow says, loose like your mama. Oh, burn, snap. Got me. You got me. All right. So here's the deal. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel either. I think he's a total fucking hack, and he's an actor on the world stage in the big club, right? And his censorship being pulled off the air is part of the plan, and he's in on the act. I get all that. Totally get it. But they're causing people to root for their own censorship by using that puppet. So they take someone like Jimmy Kimmel and they're like, we're pulling him off the air for his insensitive comments. Then you got all the conservatards who are like, good, pull anyone off the air who makes a comment about that one guy. If they make any sort of insensitive comments, they all deserve to lose their job. So there's this sentiment being pushed now, like anyone who says anything insensitive about that one guy who's beloved, they don't deserve to have a job. They deserve to be homeless and starve and die. That'll teach them to be insensitive, right? They need to censor themselves. Let's go ahead and get rid of free speech as long as we're talking about, insensitive remarks when somebody supposedly dies. So they use that hack to get people to root for their own free speech being taken away. And they don't even realize it. All right. We'll get into some videos about it in just a minute. Let me pull up my watch page. Looks like we got a new member. Everybody loves Liz. Just joined. Welcome to the members only content. I have members only videos and I do members only streams each month. So you get access to the streams and the members only videos. All right. Yeah, man, it's getting scary. There's a lot of stuff going on here on YouTube, even stuff that you guys aren't going to be affected by as viewers as much as me, the content creator. But even you guys should be noticing that like a lot of big content creators had like one of the worst Augusts ever. They had all these big content creators are all getting hit at the same time, and people's views are down. So I'm one of the lucky channels that my views aren't tanking too bad right now because I got the NFL stuff and the NFL fans coming back. So I'm doing okay, but there's content creators who have like 10 million subs or more, and they're seeing the lowest numbers they've ever seen. So ever since YouTube rolled out these new features, new algorithms, you're starting to see channels get destroyed. So luckily, we're still up and running. We're still here, you know. Numbers kind of fluctuate a little bit, but we're doing all right. Whereas I see other channels that are basically damn near destroyed already. If you look around, there's channels that are gigantic that usually get like 1 million views, and then their latest uploads, they only got 100 or 200,000. So something's going down. They're changing shit up here on this platform. And AI features are rolling in, new features. So I saw a video that said they're going to roll out these new AI features for content creators. Like, you know, you take a picture of yourself, a still shot, and then you can have this AI program through YouTube like animate you and make you dance. Okay, so that means we're going to have a bunch of lame ass newbies show up with a still shot of themselves, and then they get to upload that as a short where they're dancing and doing stuff through the use of AI. They're also going to roll out a new thing where creators can just type something in and it creates an AI short. AI shorts are now going to be like the big thing. So any random noob can come along and just upload a bunch of AI slop, right? Increasing the more and more amount of AI slop already on this platform. Get ready. If you think there's a ton of AI slop now, that shit is coming in tenfold very soon. So this channel is going to take a stand and say, you know what? I'm going to try not to use AI hardly at all. Maybe once in a while, I might like use it to like make a part of my thumbnail, but I'll always design my own thumbnails. I'll always put my own image over it, come up with my own titles, come up with my own descriptions. I'm pretty much going to stay away from using AI when I can, right? So I'm going to try and be AI free as much as possible to try and combat this shit and be one of the last guys who embraces being real, embraces being a genuine person, right? So if you want to support this sort of content, you're going to have to check my page every day. Check my page. Check my page to see if I uploaded a new video, because they might not send you a notification if I'm streaming, or if I'm going to upload a video, they might not notify you at all. So you got to check and see if I'm going to upload a video that day. You check my channel, and then you'll see, oh, look, he did upload a video. And then if you want to know if I'm going to do a stream, check out my community section. I usually will promote my streams in the community section. So there's things you guys got to do to support channels like this, because I can't count on this platform to let you guys know that I'm going to be streaming. I can't count on this platform to let you know that my latest video just got uploaded. So it's up to you to support me by coming here every day or every other day, whenever you can, and checking to see if I have uploaded any new content. And it goes without saying, you got to make sure that you have the bell notifications turned on to all notifications. If you don't have it selected to all, then they probably won't notify you, you know? All right. Already already got our first troll in chat who got banned. All right. So let's go ahead and check out some of these news clips for Kimmel being taken off the air and what the rhetoric is. And then we'll move on to some other stories. But the Kimmel story is like the trending news right now. Over the last few hours, this started popping off. All right. So we'll see what the mainstream media has to say.
And the ABC network are taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. This follows a controversy over comments the late night comedian made Monday night about Charlie Kirk's suspected killer and the MAGA movement and their reaction to the assassination. Let's get straight to CNN's chief media affairs correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian, what is going on?
That's right. This is fast developing this afternoon, Jake, amid pressure from the Trump-aligned FCC. And in the past few minutes...
The Trump-aligned FCC. That's right, guys. The right-wingers own the FCC. So you're not allowed to say anything that offends right-wingers, especially if someone dies. If any right-winger dies, you're not allowed to be happy. You're not allowed to celebrate. You have to keep all of your insensitive comments to yourself. Otherwise, you might lose your job. That's basically what they're telling you through this whole production that they're putting on here.
ABC confirmed to CNN the Kimmel show will be off the air, quote, indefinitely. We have not yet heard from Kimmel or his representatives. That's how quickly this has been developing. But let's back up and look at what Kimmel actually said on the program that has caused controversy. This is from Monday night.
Yeah, cancel culture is totally okay as long as it's the Democrats. Excuse me, the evil Democrats saying all that insensitive stuff about our beloved Messiah, Charles Kirkenstein, right? Everyone's treating that dude like it was their beloved family member who passed. And all of these demonic Democrats celebrating. Yeah, they all deserve to be fired. They all deserve to be taken off the air. Yeah, as long as it is the Democrats who are being vilified, then of course all of the conservatards are all about it. Yes, we're totally all about censoring free speech as long as it's censorship of those Democrats in the way they feel. That's how they trick you into taking away your own right to free speech.
His Monday evening monologue, Kimmel suggested that the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk might have been a pro-Trump Republican. He said, quote, the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. He said in between the finger pointing, there was grieving. Kimmel was expressing what we've heard some other liberals say in recent days, that the motives are unclear and that maybe the suspect in this case was a Republican or was some sort of far-right fringe figure.
You guys know what offends me the most? This word comedian being used. Because comedy is something that I do. In fact, I am the funniest man in the world. And so I'm offended that the word comedy is even being used in regards to this fucking hack. So what they do is they make it out like comedians should not be able to joke about things like this. Comedians should not be able to joke about a tragedy. And if they do, they deserve to be removed from their job. In fact, any comedian you see making similar remarks, they shouldn't be allowed to go up on stage, right? So some people might consider what I'm saying right now insensitive. So some people might advocate that I shouldn't be allowed to say what I'm saying right now because it's insensitive to Kirk, right?
Of course, there has been a lot of discussion about that in recent days. There's a lot of evidence pointing in other directions about the suspect. But Kimmel was on the air talking about this, making a very serious commentary amid his jokes in his monologue Monday night. Here's where it became interesting earlier today. The FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, went on a far-right webcast and condemned Kimmel and urged ABC to suspend him. He also talked about possible regulatory punishments of Disney because there are lots of different stations that have licenses with the FCC.
So my thing is, I pointed out the AI Trump before anyone was talking about AI Trump. I was pointing out AI Trump. And then AI Trump gives a speech about the dude who supposedly died, and everybody notices that it's an AI Trump. People start pointing it out. And I'm like, hey, I've been pointing that out. So my thing is, anytime we see anything happen on the screen involving any world stage character, we have to ask ourselves, how much of this is AI? How much of this is CGI? So, for instance, you can have a guy put on a performance at a live event where he pretends something happened to him, and then through the use of editing software and AI, you can doctor that footage and then serve that up to the television watchers. And so you have to ask yourself, like, okay, anything that happens now involving Trump on screen, now that they're openly using AI, and it's not a conspiracy theory anymore, it's straight up fact, they're using AI Trumps. How can you trust anything where Trump's on screen anymore? How can you trust any of these viral events that everyone's talking about when they can manipulate anything and everything you see on screen now? So I was pointing out AI Trump before anyone, and then talking about how even these events, right? You can have it be partially staged as a live event, and then also manipulated and edited the footage to present to the television audience so that they see a CGI layering effects and all sorts of different stuff that wasn't actually there in live in person. See what I'm saying? I'll get to all that as well in a minute. Let's finish this video. Well, we won't watch this whole video, but we'll watch a little bit more.
Within the past hour, we've heard from a big owner of stations that have affiliations with ABC, a company called Nexstar, saying that they were going to suspend Kimmel's show on their station. So in other words, about 24 stations were refusing to air Kimmel's show tonight as a result of this controversy. And then following word that some of those stations were basically revolting against Kimmel, Disney, the parent company of ABC, decided to yank the show entirely. So,
all right. So I noticed a few years ago, everybody was on this like woke thing. Everything on TV was go woke, go woke, go woke. And ever since Trump took over, now it's like the right wing thing is being pushed, and everyone wants to go anti woke. It's like, okay, if the public is sick of the woke shit, let's go ahead and give them the controlled anti woke narrative and hit them from the other side. And so a lot of people are falling for this anti woke shit, and they're cheering for it, right? Yeah, censor those Democrats. Censor anyone who doesn't think like me, right? Very tricky. These government nasty elites. I'm Rigged says, can you do Trump talking and glitching into a completely new train of thought? I got to tell you, I've been very upset over the recent news over my dear friend. And that's why we're going to tax China. We've already got tariffs in place, and nobody does construction better than me. And that's why they call me the king of construction. That's why Canada is on the line, and they decided that they wanted to get involved in billions and billions and billions and billions. China, and of course, everybody knows that nobody does it better. That very sad today. It's a very tragic day in America. Wonderful Americans, everybody knows that America is the greatest country of all. All right. There you go. There's a AI Trump glitching in and out of different sentences. One thing we're going to need to do, we're going to need to censor all of these lefties who are making insensitive comments about, I really love America. Nobody loves America more than me. And that's why what we really need to, there's Mexicans coming over the border, criminals coming over the border, and we put a stop to that. The first thing I did to stop the criminals from coming as I turned the egg price knob down. I turned the egg price knob down because Creepy Joe, quite frankly, America, this was a tragedy. We are living through tragic times, and that's why I'm here to drain the swamp, here to get rid of billions and billions of Americans. There you go. Pete's Perspective said, make that one a short. Well, I would, but I got rid of the shorts. And guess what? I got rid of all my shorts. And you know how many people noticed and asked me about it? One guy. One guy was like, hey, what happened to your shorts? I wanted to go watch one of them and they were gone. Yeah. Out of all my subs and all the comments I get, one guy noticed that the shorts were gone. So I got rid of the shorts because I did some research. Come to find out, shorts damage channels. The channels who have shorts that go mega viral and get lots of subs through the shorts. The shorts subscribers don't watch long form content almost at all. And if they do, their attention span is short. So shorts subscribers are short attention span losers who only care about fucking shorts, and they don't watch entire long form videos generally. So they destroy watch time. They destroy channels retention. So then YouTube thinks, oh, well, people tuned into these videos and only watched for 5 seconds and clicked away. Those are the shorts people. So you know what I did? Got rid of the shorts. And they were doing sneaky shit with my shorts. When the NFL season started, they had one of my Dave Chappelle shorts where I say Dave Chappelle's been replaced. They had it start going viral. Like, I had a video that had been out for a year and a half, a short, and then it just exploded the day that the NFL season started. And it stayed ahead of all the NFL videos and all the videos that I was putting out. So that my top video listed was a fucking short a year and a half ago about Dave Chappelle. So it was like somebody went in there and turned on one of my shorts to outperform all the rest of my content. So I was getting all these new viewers and subs from the Chappelle video that I put out a year and a half ago. But those people don't watch my long form content. And if they do, they'll click on it for a few seconds and then click away. So I found out from other channels and through doing research, shorts hurt YouTube channels. YouTube channels that focus on long form content like mine. I want long form viewers. I want viewers who sit and watch the whole video or most of it, who sit here and watch these live streams. And the people who watch shorts don't watch the long videos or the streams. So I got rid of the shorts. If any of you guys want to watch any of those shorts, I have them unlisted. I can send you a link. So if you're dying to see a short that I took down, ask me which one you want to see in the comments section after the stream's uploaded, and I'll send you a link. Okay? So the shorts are still there. I didn't delete them. They're just unlisted. So now I'm not going to get any views from shorts, so that all my views are long form views. No, I'm not going to create any more new fucking channels. This is my main channel, and any other little side channel I have is just a side channel that I'm not going to put much effort into. This is where the effort goes. Once I start having all these other channels, then that means I have to spend time and effort on that shit. No, fuck shorts. Fuck the people who watch shorts and like shorts. This is a long form channel. I want your fucking attention for long spans, as long as possible. So anyway, I'm not the only guy who figured out that shorts hurt channels. There's actually entire videos dedicated to telling people that shorts ruined their channel. You have one video go viral and get millions of views, you'll get all these subs who don't give a shit about any of your content. They just sub because of that one short. And they don't know you, they don't care about you, their attention span is this big. So yeah, they started having one of my Chappelle videos go viral the day that the NFL season started. So I shut down my own viral video and shut them all down. So the only views I get now are long form views. And guess what? This month, we're starting out really strong. All right. Shady Davy D said, support the channel. Jake the Awake, keep up the good work. Also, grab your merch, peeps. So Davey504, the Italian slap bass guy, he's got 13 million subs. And even he said that he got like 1 billion views doing shorts, like straight up 1 billion views on all his shorts collectively. And he said that the shorts watchers don't really care about his long form videos, and they don't really care about him as a content creator. And he regretted that he made all those shorts. All right. It looks like this guy's just trying to piss me off. I think comments like this are just people trying to get me triggered. NFL is real. Only the refs are in on the rigging. Cool, dude. I'm going to ban you from my channel. You can go have fun with that. Comments that are like specifically designed to get Jake to get pissed off. I'm going to see through it. You know, I'm evolving. I'm getting smarter, right? Don't have time for these loser trolls and haters. So gone that quick. I press a button, you go away. All right. Thank you very much, Davey D, for the super chat, bro. I appreciate that. That's real support right there from a longtime supporter, Davey D. He's here for every stream pretty much. All right, so this isn't the only video where they're talking about taking people's jobs if they say something insensitive about somebody who supposedly died. Watch this. Check this out. They have entire news stories dedicated to it.
There's been some maybe unexpected fallout from the murder of Charlie Kirk last week, and that is including some people who have actually lost their jobs in response to comments they made. MSNBC political analyst Matthew Dowd lost his job shortly after he made comments about the assassination. His employer said that he was wrong, that he was inciting, and that his comments were hateful.
Also inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable. So there was a staff member at the University of Mississippi who was fired after sharing insensitive comments, according to the school's chancellor. A comic book writer lost her job because of social media posts, as did other educators in Mississippi and Tennessee. A Carolina Panthers public relations official lost their job.
This isn't the only ridiculous narrative being pushed. The other ridiculous narrative are Democrats who are switching parties because of all the insensitive comments. I'm no longer part of the Democratic Party after all of the heinous, insensitive comments and the actions of my fellow Democrat Party members. I just don't want to be associated with these people. I'm switching teams. Now I'm a conservatard. Go Trump. So I'm seeing these people switch sides and make like a public announcement. I'm no longer a libtard. Now I'm a conservatard. Yay! Gotta love it. Shit, did I miss a super chat? 1 second. No, okay.
Right. I mean, it's a question of how far do First Amendment rights go?
Yeah, and the answer to that is it doesn't. Your employer in most states, including Utah, can fire you for just about anything, including exercising your First Amendment rights if they don't like what you say. So,
well, yeah, you have the right to tell your boss that you think that he is a ugly, no good piece of shit, and he might decide to fire you. So yeah, you're not allowed at your job to say whatever you want and be consequence free. But this rhetoric being pushed online, and guys like Kimmel indefinitely losing his job, right? They're making this very public that workers are losing their jobs over these comments, like they're promoting it. So what they get the conservatards to do is root for this sort of thing and be glad that this sort of thing is happening. And at the same time, they are telling people of the left, oh, you better censor yourself if you're thinking about saying anything bad about the right, which is going to gaslight them and piss them off and make them want to spout off even more. So then you're going to get this nice left versus right paradigm where people are angry and arguing online, which has been going on for days, more so than usual, over this one event. So this one event has caused so much hatred and backlash and fighting. So one thing I did was avoid this. I avoided making a breakdown video. I avoided talking about it for a few days because I didn't want to put myself in the crossfires of all the sheeple who think it's real, and then all of the shill truthers who were saying that it was real. So I just stayed out of the way of this thing for a few days, let more information come out. And it's almost like the government was slapping everyone in the face with how unreal this was. But there's still people taking all the crumbs that they're given, running with conspiracy theories. You got supposed truther channels showing their true colors. This one was real, you guys. Any supposed truther channel you see talking about how this one was real, yeah, that's a shill channel that showed their true colors.
So the First Amendment is great. You can say what you want, but an employer doesn't have to keep you on their staff if you're violating it. So, for example, there wouldn't necessarily be a criminal prosecution for a First Amendment violation, or some level of censorship, but your employer isn't bound by that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no shit. And one baller says, "What is the name of your haircut? Crew cut, faux hawk?" Yeah, I guess you could call it either of those. It's just like a simple, basic cut that I get where I just spike up the front like this. So, yeah, I've been getting this haircut for years. Just simple and easy. I don't like to have to deal with a bunch of hair, and I don't like to have to like spend a bunch of time styling myself. So I can just take like a dab of gel, just a little bit, and just spike it up real quick, and it's good to go. All right, so they got this lose your job if you say something inappropriate rhetoric, and they're even bringing up freedom of speech. Like, well, how far does freedom of speech go? right? Here's another one. Just look at the titles. Tells you everything you need to know. Liberals are still losing jobs for mocking Kirk online.
People complaining that they're losing their jobs because they went on the internet and celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk and are now being reprimanded for their actions and losing their jobs is insane.
She works for the school district right here at CCSD Panthers. They have made
another teacher. What is going on? So this one's crazy. She started chanting, F your homie's dead.
All right, guys. So here's what's going to happen next. They're going to have a left-wing person kick the bucket. And then when the right-wingers say something insensitive, then they're going to turn around and go, oh, I thought we weren't allowed to talk about when people die. We're not allowed to celebrate, right? So imagine some left-winger dies, and then some MAGA-tards and people on the right make some insensitive comments. Then the left can point their finger right back. So I think you might see a similar situation go down on the other side. It won't be the exact same deal where like it's like, you know, like this last situation. It might be slightly different, but they'll probably set one up where the other side, the left, gets to point their finger at the right and be like, oh, well, one of ours died and you guys are making insensitive comments, so you deserve to lose your job too, right? If we lose our job for celebrating when your guy dies, then you should lose your job for celebrating when our guy dies, right? So nobody's allowed to celebrate anyone's death. Nobody's allowed to make any insensitive remarks. But what classifies as an insensitive remark? Isn't there like a subjective line there? Isn't there a gray area of what is or is not insensitive? Doesn't each person define what they believe to be an insensitive comment versus somebody who just doesn't give a fuck, right? What comment you make. Like me, I don't give a fuck what comment you make about that guy or any guy really, right? In fact, the only guy I'll get pissed off if you make a comment is to me. If you make a disrespectful comment to me, I might get pissed off. But if you say anything about that guy, I don't give a shit. In fact, anyone else who died, if you want to make an insensitive comment, go right ahead. Doesn't bother me at all. So what they get you to do is start drawing lines, right? Well, it's okay in this situation, but if you're going to say X, Y, or Z, then no, it's not okay. If the scenario is that it's a tragedy, then you're not allowed to say anything insensitive. And then they can come up with what constitute as an insensitive comment. And then they can start enforcing this. They want you to start deciding what counts as an insensitive comment that should get you fired from your job. Yeah, who determines what is or is not hate speech in this situation? What's the difference between a comedian making a joke that somebody thinks is insensitive because they're a butthurt pussy versus it being actually offensive and insensitive? Got another troll that's going bye-bye. Bye, trolls.
Fuck your homie dead. The fuck?
And after causing a scene, not wanting to leave, being disrupted, she was served some coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
This is justice for Charlie Kirk. Say hello to Kelly Keegan.
Hello.
And just in case you were wondering how this amazing individual felt towards Charlie Kirk and his passing, and the message that she has for his children and his wife, I know you might have felt extremely bold and courageous, even strong by this post, but that post led you straight to me.
All right, so here we are. We've got more from _
let me find one where they're changing parties. Here we go.
Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your back porch professor. I hope you're all having...
Look at this. This is such a clickbait title. Breaking: millions leave the Democrat Party after liberals celebrate Kirk death. Millions, you guys. He counted them all. He tallied up all the liberals that left the party, and there were definitely millions. Right? He was keeping track. You can trust this dude. His title's totally not clickbait. And he's a doctor. Doctors are smart. They don't lie.
A restful weekend. You deserve it after all we've been through over these last few days. And we're getting some more breaking news here. In the 72 hours since Charlie Kirk was gunned down at Utah Valley University, something utterly amazing is happening. There is an extraordinary social media trend.
Whoa, look at this.
Is happening. There is
ding.
It's an extraordinary social media trend happening right now as we speak. Social media has exploded with viral videos of lifelong Democrats publicly renouncing their party.
Sure. And none of those are actors. All the millions of them are all legit Democrats who are now totally hardcore MAGA supporters. For sure. I buy that story. All those lefty liberals are going to go to the polls and vote red for sure. From now on, until they die, they're going to vote red because of this one event. Yeah, I buy that.
Not switching sides. That misses the point. They are literally divorcing themselves from ever coming near the Democrat Party again. This is astonishing stuff. All of these videos, maybe you've seen some of them. They all have the same pattern. They're all saying very much the same thing. They were utterly shocked to their core at how...
Bro, I didn't plan any of this. I'm literally just making up the stream as I go along. So this video was the first one that I saw. I typed in Democrats leave their party or switch their party. What did I put? And then this was the first one that came up. So I've never even seen this. Never heard of this guy. This is the first video. So I, a lot of times, will make up my stream as I go along. I'll have an idea of what I want to talk about, but I don't like to watch every single clip and then rewatch it with you guys. So one of the ways I keep my reactions fresh is by reacting to these clips in real time as I pull them up. So you're watching it in real time with
demonic
me.
And barbaric.
Say I put Democrats leave. I have to put party after Kirk. That's all I put, and this was the first one that popped up. See?
All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this. And it seems like millions of Americans is now leaving the Democrat Party after witnessing.
And this guy here to educate the black audience. This the real A-Dog Doe. He got 990,000 subscribers. This video got 231,000 views. Oh my God, OMG. Trump be in tears, y'all. This is some real important breaking news that I be gotten to give to y'all right here, right now. I got to keep the black audience informed about this situation going on right here, y'all.
Are liberals celebrating Charlie Kirk's death? This is just stupid. What is
They're going to celebrate his death. Celebrate the fact that he can't hear? Deaf? Deaf as in can't hear? Jake, don't be racist. Black people are allowed to not pronounce the TH sound. They're allowed to say F sound instead of the TH sound. You're being racist if you say anything about it. Part of the black culture is to purposely say words incorrectly so that they look cool and fresh for their audience who appreciates that sort of thing. If he was to say deaf, then he would look like some nerdy white guy like you, Jake. He's a fresh, cool, hip black man with a backwards hat, and he's not going to lower himself to your standards by pronouncing the TH. Okay, racist asshole Jake. My bad. Let the man continue mispronouncing words on purpose.
wrong with these people on the left? They are so freaking evil. And now that you got liberals, that's been, like I said, these people been Democrats their entire life. And
they been Democrats their entire life. He got 990,000 subs because he the real dog. And the reason he the real dog is because he say they instead of they. Everybody know it's totally acceptable to say they instead of they if you a fresh, hip black man in America who likes to talk and say cool stuff like they, because pronouncing they is totally what a white cracker ass cracker would do. And nobody want to look like some cracker ass motherfucking white honky. So they gonna say what they gonna say, and that's what they gonna do.
after seeing their own side celebrate a man getting assassinated in front of his kids.
Kids. All right. Steve Tomato says, I've been thinking, what's the purpose of this psyop? I think you're on the mark. Can't nullify the First Amendment, but can convince people to Oh, bro, this one is right versus left. This one is black versus white. Censor your free speech. Erode away at your right to bear arms. Bro, this one is multi-layered. How can you not notice? Right? Anti-gun rhetoric being spouted. Black versus white Civil War type shit. Trying to get people fired from their job over their opinions and stuff. Dude, this one is multi-layered for sure. They don't just do these gigantic operations, just to get the lefties and the righties at each other's throat. There's usually other layers to the operation, right? It's usually a multifaceted agenda, if you will. White people in the South don't say day. So I've heard Southerners, and they've got their Southern accent and whatnot, right? People from the South don't say day. They still say they. I've talked to dudes who live in South Carolina. I've talked to dudes who live in Alabama, and they don't say day. The ones who say day are dudes like this on screen.
They said, you know what? We can't do this no more.
Another thing Southerners don't do, they don't say deaf instead of death. They don't say, man, he be joking about that man's death. No. A Southerner said, man, they was joking around and making insensitive comments about his death, right? So I would argue that a white Southerner doesn't turn the TH sound into an F or a D. All right. So let's not act like everyone in the South talks like this dude.
So we got clips and stuff like that of a lot of Democrats, you know, saying that they are done. They are done with the Democrats, and they pretty much is supporting President Trump. Now they going to the other side. Because this is just crazy. I mean, we seen it. Even Stephen A. Smith went off, and he's a Democrat, and said, what is wrong with these Democrats? Why are y'all celebrating a man getting taken out?
Man, even Stephen A. Smith know that you shouldn't be celebrating when a man be taken out, y'all. Stephen A. Smith, he be liberal and he be black, and even he know that it's wrong and insensitive to be making comments in light of a man's death. That's what they be saying about this man right here. They be making insensitive comments. Even Stephen A. know better than to do that.
The man had a family. And even if you disagree with him, look what Charlie Kirk did.
If he didn't have a family, it wouldn't be as bad. But since the man have a family, it makes it extra insensitive. I don't have a wife. I don't have a kid. So if I get shot and die, it's not as much of an importance because I don't got a family. But if you got a family, it make it more of a tragedy.
Went to campuses so y'all can debate against each other. You got a mic that he'll say something, you'll say something. Ain't like he was saying something just staying in the house. He will go out, come to you, and have a debate. And like they said, it was just an attack on free speech.
Yeah, an attack on free speech. Except the magatards, conservatards are all celebrating that the evil lefty liberals are getting canned from their jobs over their speech. So you're celebrating when people lose their job over speech, but you're going to talk about an attack on free speech. See? This, you can't. Dude, 990,000 subscribers. Wow. Wow. Yes, millions of Americans leave the Democratic Party. These are this same title over and over again. Total clickbait.
I am done. I am not going to vote Democrat anymore. I did leave the left because I was getting sick and tired of their behavior.
So yeah, this girl right here covered in tats, she's not going to vote lefty anymore after that event. Now she's down with the MAGA plan. I totally buy that, don't you guys? Don't you totally buy this story that millions of Democrats are so upset with their own party and their actions that they're no longer going to be part of that Democratic Party anymore? And they're going to switch sides. Sure. Millions of them, you guys. All you need is a handful of TikToks like this, and then you just slap the word millions on top of it. Billions and billions of lefties are no longer going to be voting blue. Quite frankly, I think we're going to win every election from this point forward in a landslide. You never have to worry about a crooked lefty liberal being president ever again, because millions and billions and trillions and quadrillions and sextillions of Americans are now going to be voting exclusively for the red side, the right side.
But I was considering myself to be in the center. No. Whoever did this just fucked up. And I'm seeing a lot of people who were on the left say that they're no longer going to be on the left anymore. I still have my same beliefs. I still support the communities that I support, and I will still vote for people who align with those beliefs, but it's not going to be a Democrat.
So there was a time when less people talked about politics, but I can't remember a time when no one talked about it. When I was a little kid, I distinctly remember that Clinton's blowjob deal with Lewinsky, everyone was talking about that, right? So even people who weren't really into politics were talking about the blowjob that went down, right? So I can't remember a time where nobody talked about it, but I will agree that less people cared about politics back in the 90s when I was a kid. It wasn't as big of a deal. And it was usually two crotchety old white guys running for president. Whereas nowadays, you got characters like Trump, have your first black president. You got AI Creepy Joe. So the presidential landscape changed quite a bit over the last 3 presidents. When I was a kid, it was, boring presidents, and most young people didn't give a shit, right? So young people didn't really care about George Bush and Al Gore and these candidates back then. Seemed like young people started to get more into politics when Obama hit the scene.
I'm done. You guys are disgusting. The shit that you're saying is fucking horrible. You should be extremely ashamed of yourself. You're supposed to be the party of empathy. Where the fuck is the empathy? I'm done.
I'm really fucking mad at all of you people. I'm no longer going to fucking vote Democrat. I'm no longer going to fucking put up with it. And all of you fucking people need to fucking be ashamed of yourself for what you fucking did. Yes, very convincing.
And as always, you guys, to my followers, have a great day. To the people who are saying this horrible, awful shit, have the day you deserve. Bye.
So as you can see on the screen right here.
Yeah. Totally sounds like something a lefty would say. I'm buying that. There's most definitely millions of people who are doing this exact same thing. I'm buying that story for sure. Millions of girls like this feel this exact way because of this one TikTok.
Here it says, I will never vote Democrat again. There are millions of people on social media. His best to the point that
right before he got shot. And that only makes sense if we stay peaceful. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I'm on the record for how much I disagree with Charlie Kirk, but like, man, dude, he is still a human being. Have we forgotten that?
I'm so sad and I'm happy at the same time. I mean, I don't agree with the guy, but
are we crazy? Like,
so
I mean, he's a human, and even if you don't agree with him, you should.
Okay, so there you have it. He says the irony.
America, I don't know. My name's Hunter.
Oh, this guy, this shillbag right here, Andrew Callahan, total fucking shillbag. This guy, he pushes a bunch of lefty propaganda and shit, and then he gets all this attention as if he's like some news reporter out there in the trenches, bringing you the real news from the people. So this guy is artificially inflated. His channel gets propped up and promoted and pushed out to millions. And he even went through his humiliation ritual where he supposedly light core graped a girl or two or several. So they had several different women come out and say that this guy aggressively came on to them and touched them and whatnot. So he already went through his humiliation ritual. So this dude right here, Andrew, I've even met the dude in person, and he interviewed me at the boogeyman disease protests, the corona protest. I thought he was, at the time, I didn't know who he was because he wasn't as popular back then. I thought he was with like a news outlet or something, and he offered to interview me. So there is a interview that I did with this guy, and then the video even got taken down off his channel, I think. The corona protest. So if you ever find the corona protest video, I'm actually in that video, and I spill a bunch of truth, and I tell people to cough on me to prove that there wasn't anything to be afraid of. And they would censor that video whenever I would put it up on my channel. Those of you who've been watching for a long time, remember, check this out. Look at this hand sign here, right? So we got the pride flag next to the American flag with the Black Lives Matter, with the hand symbol here, and then this shill here, giving this guy the spotlight with his huge channel.
I am one of the few, definitely not the only, but certainly maybe a minority of the left that really cares still about life or family or America. I don't know. My name is Hunter. I was in the middle of debating Charlie Kirk in the middle of the assassination at Utah Valley University.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Wow, they just so happened to find this guy who was debating the guy just before that thing happened. And then they bring up the thing that happened to him. They bring up the subject and then it happens. Come on, man. There's people who fell for this that I wouldn't have expected to fall for this. And even with all the info that's come out afterwards, they still are thinking that this was a legit event. Even when you see something like this. Does this add to the legitimacy? I don't think so. I don't think this adds any legitimacy to the event. In fact, makes the whole thing look even more ridiculous.
I mostly came in there because Charlie's very open about having some sort of dialogue or some sort of conversation that he believes in engaging, and I'm pretty on the record of how much I disagree with him. But
I've seen this comment a few times, and I've addressed this comment, and I'm going to address it again. Funny how nobody talks about Epstein no more. Epstein is another psyop created by the media. So anyone who's like, oh, they're not talking about the Epstein files. Epstein files are made up shit. Yeah, Epstein is a guy that nobody knew about until the TV told you about him. Epstein Island is a place that nobody knew about until the TV told you about it. Nobody knew what sort of stuff went on at that place until the TV told you what sort of stuff went on. So I could say, nobody's talking about P. Diddy's parties. That's another psyop. Right? Yeah, that's because they have a new psyop for you every other day. Right? They got a new major psyop at least every week. So, yeah, nobody's going to be talking about P. Diddy's parties either. But that shit was another psyop brought to you by the mainstream media. You never went to P. Diddy's parties and saw him and Justin Bieber get it on with baby oil in a back room. But you might let your imagination run wild if you hear about that sort of thing on the news. Just like in person, you never saw anything go down on Epstein's Island. You never saw Trump get it on with an underage girl on Epstein's Island. But you might let your imagination run wild about that sort of thing if you watch the mainstream news and believe it. So just remember, if the mainstream news didn't tell you about any of this shit, you wouldn't know about any of it, and you wouldn't give a shit, and you'd be better off. You'd be a more happy, sane individual.
do definitely respect how much he's willing to platform voices to ensure that, at least some semblance of a good conversation can come out of it. Conversation isn't everything, right? There's a lot more that comes to politics.
But Jake, my family was at the Diddy party. Jake, the Diddy stuff is real. because my friend went to one of his parties and Diddy lubed up his black penis and started trying to put it in my friend's booty. And my friend's like, whoa, I'm not like that, man. I'm out of here. So I know for a fact that P. Diddy did try and use baby oil and try and do nasty things at his freaky deaky parties because my friend was there. So there's usually someone in the chat who will tell me that they know that this event is real because their friend was there. So that's funny. This guy's making a joke about the Diddy party. Because there's usually someone who will be like, my friend was at that event and he saw what went down. So I know for a fact that's real, Jake. And I've been hearing that for years, and I've been covering these sorts of things for years. So this is not my first rodeo. So it goes back to even the Bang Bang Pow Pow event that happened in Vegas years ago, right? At that concert. Jake, it's real. My friend was there, and bullets were whizzing by his head, and he was running for his life. That's how I know that that Bang Bang event in Vegas was real. So there's always somebody who will claim that their friend was there. But if you question them, hold their feet to the flames, they won't give you the friend's name. They won't give you any details if you really press them. But there's always somebody quick to tell you that their friend was there. First Amendment said, look up Kash Patel's farewell message. See you in Valhalla. Okay.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight.
Wow, that didn't take long, did it? First thing out of his mouth.
In less than 36 hours.
36, 666.
33 to be precise.
And there's your Masonic number. All right, the signal has been sent. Those who are in the know, your spidey sense should begin tingling.
Thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly.
Processed the crime scene quickly. You mean contaminated the crime scene right away? Anyone who knows about doing an investigation of a crime scene, go look at what happened to the crime scene and how quickly it got contaminated within minutes, basically. People come in, pick up the body, carry him away, and mess with the crime scene, contaminate the shit out of it. Literally nothing was handled like a police run investigation would handle it. So if police were really involved in the way that they would handle it and investigate it, that's not what we saw. So we basically saw something entirely different than if law enforcement was to actually get involved and do a real investigation. So yeah, the crime scene being processed quickly, seems to me the crime scene was destroyed and contaminated almost instantly.
And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver it to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately...
See, this stuff that you guys are saying, sheeple don't pay attention to that sort of thing. Sheep don't pay attention to what happened after the shots and what happened at the crime scene. They don't put two and two together. They go on Facebook. They say, R.I.P. Charlie, so sad. He had a family. Prayers go out to the family, yada, yada. And then they virtue signal on their social media with their post about how sad they are and the prayers, right? So a lot of people don't put two and two together. But if you're one of those critical thinkers and you just spend like an hour scratching the surface, you're going to find so much stuff that doesn't add up, so many anomalies, things that don't make sense at all. And it's almost like the government is slapping everyone in the face with a very obvious setup event here, right? And it's almost like they're testing the public. So Sunflower asks, like, why are they making it so obvious? Let me see if I can find her comment. Anyway, so somebody said, I think it was Sunflower. She said, why are they making it so obvious? And I think they're testing the public. Like, they're making it obvious, but still seeing if the majority of the people are going to go along with it. And they do. And then they're seeing who actually notices. And then they can keep track of those of us who figured it out and are vocalizing it. So anyone who speaks out about it not going down as they claim it did, such as myself or anyone else, you know, they can put you on a little list. And then meanwhile, all the people who are going on their Facebook and saying, R.I.P. Charlie, our prayers go out to your wife and kids. Well, then those people are on the list of ones who will believe whatever they're told. So I think that it's in their best interest, if they want to control all of us, to know which of us are going to believe whatever we're told and which of us are going to open our mouth and say something when they slap us in the face with these obvious scripted events. I mean, they've openly told us that they're spying on us. So for their own data collection, they might just be testing, you know, those of us who are going to accept what we're seeing on the TV screen and not say a damn thing, versus those of us who are going to point stuff out, say, hey, this isn't right. What's going on here? Hey, check out this anomaly, right? So you better believe, if you're sharing anomalies on social media and pointing this stuff out, talking about how it didn't go down the way that the mainstream media and the government says it did, you better believe they're going to keep track of you. I already know they keep track of what I'm doing. There's probably a file that's gigantic with my name on it. I would love to see what's in that file. Meanwhile, what am I? I'm just a fucking dude expressing the way I feel on YouTube. I'm just a comedian doing a comedy show. But I'll bet you there's entire government agents and a whole sector dedicated to me. Just one guy. And there's probably this gigantic file with all this paperwork and stuff about me in it, like every detail about me. And what am I? Am I the most dangerous individual online? I'm a guy who speaks how he feels, right? I'm a guy expressing myself differently from the majority of the public. And apparently, yeah, that makes you a dangerous individual that needs to be watched. All right, we'll finish this up here.
7,000 interviews, 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public.
This guy's saying I should debate Nick Fuentes. They aren't going to let any shills anywhere near me. I would rip a shill to shreds real quick. All I would do is just ask some tough questions that they wouldn't be allowed to answer, and it would prove right away who and what they are. So yeah, they wouldn't let that controlled shill anywhere near me because I would expose that he's a controlled shill. Anyone who falls for Nick Fuentes or any of these right-wingers who have millions of followers, you're being duped. Nick Fuentes is a shill. I don't care if he says he's against Israel. He's a shill. Candace Owens is a shill. I don't care if she says she's against Israel. She's a fucking shill. Right? It's like Russell Brand saying he's anti-jab, or Aaron Rodgers saying he's anti-jab. Anyone can say anything. It doesn't mean that they're telling the truth. So it's funny how many right-wingers are like, Nick Fuentes. Oh, I love Nick Fuentes. Candace Owens. I love Candace Owens. Why? Because they're anti-Israel. What makes you think that? Because they said so. That's it. That's all they got to do is say that they're anti-Israel, and people will shove their head up their ass, right? That's how easy it is. I'm anti-jab and anti-Israel, so therefore all the right-wingers should shove their head up my ass. I'm also Christian. I'm a Christian anti-Israel, anti-jab sort of guy. So now you're obligated to love me. And then they go ahead and promote that all these things on the world stage are true, right? So they go along with the narrative that this guy actually died. No, that's how you know that they're a fucking shill. Most of my audience is not stupid enough to fall for these right-wingers, but there is a sector of these football guys who come over and they don't realize how awakened a guy like me is, and so they're still following guys like Nick Fuentes, possibly, or Candace Owens, and they haven't figured out that there's a such thing as the world stage and that all these are puppet actors in a big club. So some of the football guys they're aware that the government lies. They're aware that psychological operations happen, but they aren't aware of the fact that there's like a world stage and that every single one of these high profile influencers in the political arena are total plants. There's no such thing as a political influencer who has millions of followers, who's legit and here to help you and cares about you. So some people are still under the influence of these political fucking right-wing characters who push this narrative that they're Christian and anti-jab and anti-Israel, but then they totally go along with these staged events and pretend as if they're real. Yeah, I get a bunch of new subs from the NFL content, and sometimes they're not awake to all the hardcore truths that I'm talking about. So if you just showed up last week because of a football video, some of the stuff I'm talking about might be a little advanced for you, right? So if a guy who showed up because of my football picks might not have ever heard of all these people being plants on a world stage. That might be a new concept. So I always have to figure there's some people here in chat who haven't figured out that there's all these actors playing parts and shit, duping millions of people into going along with the right versus left paradigm.
Who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation. The FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions. And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find an app.
These dudes they have in the back just like standing there staring like robots.
Apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
All right, there we go. There's a request from a subscriber who sent a super chat. First Amendment wanted me to show that video. And got a super chat from Holden. Let me pull it up. Holden says, hope to see you in Santa Cruz, Jake, between Thursday and Sunday. I would like to get over there while the weather's hot before the summer ends. So if I can get my shit together and get my van loaded up and take off tomorrow, I wouldn't mind doing like a Thursday, Friday night stay over there because the weather's really hot here. And I do want to get over there before the summer ends. So I might possibly make it out there if I can get my shit together and get out of town. One of the hardest things is to get the damn van all loaded up and gassed up and ready to go and then get there. It's like there's always shit that ends up happening that like keeps me here. So hopefully I can make it out there and I'll be able to I'll let you know if I do. Valhalla is the island they go to after duping Goys. Jason G says, it's crazy what people do for money. Yeah, I'll let you know if I go to Santa Cruz. For sure, I'll let you know. All right. So the recent news with Trump is that he went over to the UK. I'll just watch a quick clip on that because I got a thing to say about this. And I'll find a different video.
Eamon Javers has been standing by watching a lot of the pomp. and kind of figuring out what this means from business perspective too. Eamon, it looks like that helicopter is just setting down.
Yeah, good morning, Becky. If you have a tool of statecraft that very few people in the world have, which is the King of England. And they are using the King of England here in a diplomatic way, you could argue very effectively to win the hearts and minds of one man, Donald Trump. Guys, this is not our bailiwick, but of course, the outfits will be highly scrutinized on all these folks as well.
Big
I'm
on
just
hats.
noticing,
Everybody,
and I don't have an eye for fashion.
So here's my thing, you guys. Anytime I see Trump on screen now, how do I know it's not AI? How do I know we aren't just seeing AI Trump go to the UK? Seems like they could save time and money by just having AI Trump go to AI UK with an AI King and an AI Melania, right? So if they had AI Trump give a speech about his buddy dying, right? And everybody noticed that it was AI. And now the word is out that they use AI Trumps on TV. It's been normalized now, apparently, that they use AI Trumps. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. I'm not a crazy conspiracy theorist for saying that they use AI Trumps any longer, because now apparently it's been normalized and everybody knows that they use AI Trumps. So from now on, anytime I see them on screen, I'm going to say, how do I know that's not an AI Trump? In an instance I see Trump on a screen, I'm just going to figure it could possibly be AI, because now it is known, it is a known fact that they are using AI Trumps and duping the public. And they aren't coming out and telling the public this is for sure AI, right? They're letting the public figure it out on their own, but they're not coming out and being honest about it. So from now on, anytime I see Trump on a screen, I'm going to be like, well, how do we know that that's the real Trump? Probably another AI Trump. And then I'm going to let all the magatards be like, no, that's the real Trump. They only use AI that one time because he was too lazy to give a speech about his friend dying. So this is the real Trump. You don't have to worry about AI Trumps. It was only that one time that they used AI Trump, Jake. All the rest of the times it's real Trump. Yes, I proved many times that they were using an AI Biden on screen. And so I have several videos showing an AI Biden. And back then, people were like, you're crazy. And they would make excuses, right? So when I started talking about Trump being AI, people would show up in the comments. You're a crazy conspiracy theorist. Get out your tinfoil hat. But now that they made it obvious that they're using AI Trumps, now people make excuses like, well, it was just that one AI Trump because he had a stroke. Oh, he did that speech through AI so that he could focus on some other stuff. Yeah. He had other stuff that he needed to do. He was really busy. So they had an AI Trump deliver the speech because he had to be somewhere else, right? No, he's an insensitive, lazy prick. So that's why they had an AI Trump address the nation. See, they'll make it out like it was a one-off AI Trump rather than Trump not even being the real president. The Trump character may have been replaced years ago for all we know. This might not even be the same dude as the last Trump who was president. So not only are they using imposters, now they got AI. So how do you even know the Trump character that we started with, that it's still even the same guy?
But I'm noticing,
yeah, everybody big on
color
hats
and the color coordination of the ties and the purples. I'm not a fashion guy, Joe. I'm out of my depth on that, but it clearly looks like someone's been doing some work here.
You're more of a fashion guy than us Lululemon.
It clearly looks like someone's been doing some work here. I got a couple super chats here. Evan says, Jake, I'm rigged and scripted. What do I do now? Help. Can't do anything, bro. You're screwed. Once you're rigged and scripted, you're rigged and scripted for life. You can't do anything to change it. Well, actually, that's not true. What you should do is read your Bible and repent to God. What you're going to need to do is get underneath your bed. All right. You're going to need to put your Bible in between your butt cheeks, and you're going to need to repent to Jesus, and you're going to need to smoke. Excuse me. You're going to need to vape my holy water vape juice. I sell pure holy water combined with organic Bible vape juice. And if you vape this 30 times a day for 2 weeks, you will indeed become unrigged and unscripted, or your money back. At any rate, I digress. Like, share, and subscribe, or don't. Shady Davy D said 480 plus in the chat. Hit the thumbs up. Yes, if you guys are having fun, if you're enjoying this wonderful, wacky Wednesday night, then please hit that thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm know that I'm awesome. In fact, if everybody right now would just real quick take 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds, hit that thumbs up button, you'll let the algorithm know that I'm the most awesome dude in the world, and then they'll promote me to everyone, and then I'll have more subscribers than PewDiePie and Mr. Beast combined, and I'll all live happily ever after, and you will also live happily ever after. We shall all live happily ever after, but it won't happen unless you hit the thumbs up. Thanks, Davey. I appreciate that. All right. Who can defeat AI? Well, probably none of us. But what I can do is tell you that I am not AI. I'm a real dude. I make up this stream on the spot. I come up with all my comedic ideas and stuff on the spot for the most part. And I don't really use AI hardly at all. So I'm one of the last guys who is creating my content in a genuine, non-artificial manner. And I'm sick of AI. I'm tired of all the AI slop online. I think AI needs to take its intelligence and shove it right up its artificial ass, personally.
Whereas that you point out all the time.
Us being you.
Well, you don't
Us
even
being
wear a
you.
jacket, Joe, so we can't trust
No,
your
I do
eye.
sometimes. Okay, here we go. There's the king and queen.
King and queen.
How can you not love this?
I know. I was like,
And that is a
I don't have
moment.
much to say over it, but I want to watch it.
Yeah.
So in the UK, they do the king and queen shit, right? So here you have Trump schmoozing with the king and queen. And also in the UK, they don't allow you to own a gun. And they're under even stricter rules than here in the United States. So when you see Trump meeting with the king and queen, schmoozing it up with a country that has more rules and regulations than we do, you know, it's kind of funny. Like, it won't be long before they try and make the USA more like the UK, right? So here he is meeting with the king and queen. And then there was even that talk about Trump, you know, running for a third term and staying in the White House forever and stuff like that. So they can perpetuate those rumors by having him hang out with the king and queen. Oh, yeah, he's hanging with the king and queen because he thinks he is the king, or he wants to be the king of the USA. He fancies himself as a king. So he's going to go hang out with a king, right?
Okay.
This is a moment, guys, that the president also referenced yesterday on his departure from the White House. The president said he and King Charles have been friends for a long time. He called him a personal friend. And you're seeing the personal nature of that relationship here in the greeting as they get an extended handshake and conversation with the king and queen. More than perfunctory here as you see them being escorted in. That is something that's very important to President Trump. And you'll see the round of handshakes here with all of the VIPs who will be on hand for this gathering and introductions. But this president views.
I met with the king. Quite frankly, I had a wonderful time. We're expected to announce billions and billions and billions in new deals during our trip. And nobody announces new deals the way I announce new deals. I'm the best announcer that America has ever seen at announcing billions of new deals. One of the things I learned from the king is that we're doing our election all wrong. The Democrats, they stole that election that I lost against Creepy Joe. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this whole voting nonsense. We're going to elect me as your king, your Lord and Savior. And I'm going to be the greatest king that America has ever seen. Nobody is king the way I am king. I'm the best king that America has ever seen or will ever see. Once I implement Trumptricity into all of your homes, you're going to be begging that I be your king. You're going to be like, thank you, King Trump, for bestowing us your wonderful Trumptricity. It's leaner, greener, meaner, far superior than electricity ever dreamed of being. Some people are asking, does electricity have dreams? Yes, in fact, it does. Electricity dreams of being as good of quality as Trumptricity, but of course, it will never reach the heights that Trumptricity has already reached in the heights of my own mind, of course. What? What the fuck am I even talking about? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
The King of England as a personal friend, and this is very much being seen by the president as a family visit.
That extends our knowledge of what's happening here. But watching this play out, it's historic. And watching this happen, it's still hard to even.
King looks healthy.
King Charles.
He looks good, and he looks healthy. And Kate, you know about the health issues for the last couple of years for members of royal family, and this is, I think it's really a.
You know what? Instead of hearing these newscasters talk, I'm going to go ahead and fill in what Trump's saying right here. He's like, after having the lousy Democrats steal the election when I was up against Creepy Joe, one of the things I've learned by looking at the way you carry things out in your wonderful country, the way you do this king and queen thing, we need to adopt this format in our country. I'll be the first king. I'm going to be the greatest king that there ever was. Nobody is going to be king as good as me. All right. What do you guys think? Would you like to see King Trump? Do you guys think we'd be better off if we did the king and queen thing? This whole ordeal where I have to leave office every 4 years, 8 years, while some lefty liberal takes over and ruins all of the wonderful things that I've done for this country. We're going to get rid of that. Instead, I'm going to be king until I die. And then my son will take over. And then his son will take over. From now on, you will always have a king with the last name of Trump running the greatest country that there ever was. The Trump family will be your royal family. And quite frankly, I can't think of another family that would deserve this high honor of being the royal family. If you were to ask the millions of Americans who support me, they would agree that I would be the ultimate king. And of course, when I die, I will pass the duties of my kingdom on to my son, and then he'll pass it on to his son, and so on. From now on, this royal family will have Trump, the good name of Trump, running this wonderful country. I'm just making shit up. All right. Dale Hess says, I'm late. What I miss? Oh, just me talking about scripted news and shit. Scripted politics and shit. It's almost like something he'd say. Yeah, see, whenever I'm like riffing with these comedic ideas, I'm just saying like whatever sort of thing comes to mind that Trump would actually say if this were to occur. Like if he actually was to become king of America, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if he did, that's about something similar that he would say. And then I try and, over exaggerate to make it extra comedic. Thank you very much, Dale Hess, for the super chat donation. I appreciate that, buddy. Very generous. Another longtime supporter. Would it be possible to meet me? Yes, I have met my subscribers, many of them. I've done meetups in the past. So I don't have any subscriber meetups like planned or scheduled currently, but one of these days I'll probably set up another meetup somewhere. So it's not something I do often, but there are people who have bumped into me randomly who recognize me. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And then I have done the meetups, and I even drove across the United States in 2017 and set up meetups across the United States and met all sorts of people. So plenty of my subs have met me in person, but there's a lot of you and only one of me. So I can't exactly meet all of you, but perhaps one of these days I'll set up another meetup, and those of you who want to come meet me, who live close enough, can come do that. In fact, this dude right here, he like spotted me and then he started yelling at me, and I thought he was like some crazy black dude who was like angry for whatever reason. But then as he got closer and he was saying something about, I don't know, he was saying something that I recognized that I've said. And then I realized that like he was kidding. And then he told me he was subscribed to my channel. So this dude caught me off guard. I was out walking my dog, and I see this black dude coming at me, and he's like yelling and screaming. And I'm like, what the fuck does this guy want? But then as he got closer, it was like he identified himself as a fan. So yeah, you never know when you're going to run into somebody who recognizes you. I'm not like a super famous YouTuber or anything, but I do get recognized from time to time when I'm out in public. No, it was funny the way he came up, because at first, the way he was acting, I thought he was like some crazy fucking angry black dude gonna come try and fight me for no reason, And I live in an area where there are crazy twacked out people who will be yelling and angry for no reason. So but then as he got closer, he turned out to be a nice guy, and we talked for a few minutes. All right, Connecting Studio said, can you break this video down? Search General David Petraeus shapeshifting. Okay. All right. Here it is. I've never seen this before, so this will be a new one for me. I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm guessing whatever this is, people are going to assume it's been edited, or it might be AI or whatever. So
will begin a withdrawal. In the words of the Vice President, July of 2011, you're going to see a whole lot of people moving out. Bet on it. Well, do you agree with the comment of President Karzai's former intelligence chief that Karzai has lost confidence in the ability of the United States and NATO to succeed in Afghanistan, General?
Nor on those of the others who are with him.
that they're in Afghanistan. As I mentioned earlier, the fact that we have will have more than tripled our forces from January 2009 to the end of August 2010 is of enormous significance. The same with the civilian force structure, the same with the funding, and the same with others.
Well, let me reiterate my thank you a great deal about the message we are sending in the region about whether we're actually going to stay or not, and whether we're going to do what's necessary to succeed rather than set an arbitrary timeline. And the best way to
When does it happen? Did I miss it? Give me the timestamp, bro, because I don't know where I'm supposed to stop the video. Because I didn't see it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, man. His face looks pixelated. This video looks like it's low quality and old. So you give me the exact timestamp because I am not seeing it. Two-minute mark.
whether we're actually going to stay or not, and whether we're going to do what's necessary to succeed rather than set an arbitrary timeline. And the best way to
We're going to recess for. We're going to recess now for a few moments. We'll recess till the call of the chair.
So we don't see any shape shifting. So the word shape shifting, I was expecting like his face to morph or something. So I personally didn't see any shape shifting. It looked like the video was old and not very good quality. And then you have to assume that they had access to AI long before they let us use it. And they had access to video editing software that they could have edited the video. And so editing the video in a certain way and then having this video about it being a shape-shifting thing just could all be to throw you off, right? They can get you to point at people and be like, oh my God, he shape-shifted into a Illuminati lizard or whatever, and get you to say crazy stuff about these guys being lizards and shapeshifters and whatnot. But really, what did we see? That we just saw like a old crappy quality video, and then what's his face just stopped talking and looked at him all weird. Yeah, McCain looks at him all weird. And then right here, we can't see the guy's face. He's just hunched over. Really low quality.
We're going to recess for. We're going to recess now for a few moments.
So yeah, I can't really say that I saw any shape shifting personally. And like I said, you gotta figure they had AI and could have edited the video in any certain deceptive way to get people to go down some conspiracy rabbit hole. So who knows? Okay. This guy says McCain showed a moment of fear. I don't know. The way it was edited and the way it looked, that could totally be an act. I lean more towards that being an act and this video being titled with that title and planted for people to come up with these conspiracy theories. Because look, Wikipedia, reptilian humanoids or anthropomorphic reptiles, also called reptilioids, right? So this whole Wikipedia banner here, and it gets 1 million views. Yeah, this seems like it was set up like this is conspiracy bait. Sam C says, Jake, you are awakened the truther in me around 2023. I was drowning in apathy. Oh, you reawakened the truther in me. Well, glad I reawakened the truther inside you, bro. Good to hear. Let me switch up my background to green. There we go. Or should it be red? Should it be yellow? Purple? Let's go with green. Here's a guy asking if I got my old office back. So my office was repainted and new floor put in. So it's basically been revamped. And so I used to be on the other side of the room. So I changed up the way my office is set up. So I have a new desk with all these cabinets and stuff. And I have my computer pointed towards the other wall. So instead of it pointed towards the air conditioner, I have it pointed towards this other wall. So I have a lot more space now because I cleared out some stuff and cleared out my van seats that were taking up a bunch of space and reorganized some stuff. So between my new desk and me reorganizing everything, there's more space in here. And so it feels like it's a new room. It feels like I'm in a new spot, even though it's the same spot. So yeah, fresh new paint, new floor. So it looks slightly different, but it is the same room. So eventually my plan is I'm going to decorate behind me, and then I can even order a green screen and add a green screen to the mix. So yeah, we have an improved living space. I got a lot more space here in my room now. So so much room for activities. Well, it is actually. So I have my music equipment over here that I can set up in the corner. And then I was thinking I could like get some shelves and stuff, put stuff on the shelves and decorate. Maybe even have my like bases and stuff like all set up as like, my background. So still a lot that I need to do to get everything all set up, but we're getting there. Kyle says, you really encourage my anti-mainstream thinking. Well, you got to figure that the mainstream media, it's mostly all lies. And so, yeah, a guy like me, I'm going to encourage that you don't listen to mostly lies. So the nightly news is mostly all lies. I mean, they run a few local stories that are legit, And then, like, if they're telling you about the weather, you know, if they tell you it's going to be hot tomorrow, that's the sort of thing that they're telling you the truth about. But for any of these trending stories, these big, huge viral stories, those are usually all scripted and fake. So I encourage that you do your own research and don't listen to the mainstream media as if what they're telling you is cold, hard facts. Always do your own research, come to your own conclusions. So I just encourage people not to treat the mainstream media as if it's proven facts. And a lot of Americans sadly think that if it comes on the news, that it's a proven fact. What's the max weight I can curl a dumbbell? I don't know, negative 15 pounds. I can curl negative 15 pounds, barely. Anything more than negative 15 pounds, and it just hurts my biceps too much. So I just give up. Anyone who asks me about lifting weights, I always give them a stupid answer like that. Like, what do you bench, bro? One time I tried to lift the bar without any weights, and I just didn't like the way it made me feel. So I gave up. Start taking creatine. Well, there's creatine in meat, so I'll just eat meat. Taking powdered substances is not my deal. So there's guys who will take these powders from the, you know, the weightlifting store that tells you that you'll grow muscles and you'll get all big if you take their lab-made powders and poisons. But I've learned that lab-made powders and poisons are typically not good for you. And so I don't take any of them. So I just eat a good portion of meat and a little bit of fruit and try to stay away from the powders and poisons and stuff like that. Connecting Studio says, sorry to spam you again. Bro, if you're sending super chats, you are not spamming. Anyone sending a super chat does not count as spam. One last breakdown. It's short. Please tell me what you see in slow-mo. Search bug flies into reporter's mouth. I think I might have seen that video. All right. You know what's crazy? I just now saw a video that same reporter had a bug fly in his mouth more than once. We'll watch the second one after we see this one.
That's the high school that led to Chris Wood's death. The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town.
It's too the quality's too low. I just don't know what we're gonna see, man. Even if I slow it down, the quality is just so pixelated.
Led to Chris Wood's death.
Oh, the tongue that comes out. The fact that it's so pixelated, I feel like this is planted, like this is bait, right? Like I don't think that that's an actual shapeshifter with his lizard tongue coming out. So I feel like they were using AI and doctoring videos and shit before they let us use the technology. And the fact that the quality is so bad leads me to believe this has been doctored and then planted for us. And then I saw that this same thing happened to this same guy twice. I didn't know that. So let's see this.
2, 1. First up on the Factor, IsaiahFactor.com, there is outrage at the Waller County Jail, this time for a man named Days. He's charged with assaulting a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, see, that's acting. They made sure to have the bug come at him, and he already went viral for that last one.
Get it! God. Assaulting a law.
All right, here it is.
Enforcement off.
You got your 3 and a 6 over here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not buying it. So I feel like if they were using this AI and doctoring videos before they let us have that technology, they could plant a video like this and then have it go viral. And most people aren't going to slow it down and notice the tongue coming out. Most people aren't going to talk about him being a reptilian or a shapeshifter. But they could plant that narrative for the conspiracy theorists who find it and let them run with it and post it. So I don't trust anything we see on screen. And if they give us AI to play with, then that means they've been playing with the AI long before they gave it to us. Perhaps, 20 years ago, they had this technology that they're letting us play with now for free. You got to figure, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or even more, they could have had the same technology that they were using to dupe us with. Lemming in a shiny metal box with a very generous donation said, Sir Jake, dig the new office redecoration. Glad to see you on a Wednesday, as my Tuesdays now include extended working hours. Just curious, can your hat rack manufacture a quality doink? My hat rack manufacture a quality doink. What exactly are you asking, bro? Are you asking if my it's not a hat rack, it's a let me get rid of this video. It's a mic stand. See? This is my mic stand that I used to use when I would sing in bands and stuff. See, I have my my cup holder. I used to drink beers while I would sing. So at my cover bands shows, we would do like 4 hours of cover tunes. And this is where I would have my beer, right? So in between songs, I'd be drinking my beer and I'd put it back here on the, or at practice, have my water or my beer here. But I quit drinking, so I haven't had a drink in like a month. I don't think I'll quit drinking entirely forever. I'll probably have a alcoholic beverage one of these days, but I haven't drank in like a month and been feeling really good. So I've pretty much given up drinking alcohol to the point where I think I'm only going to drink like every great once in a while. So anyway, yeah, there's the mic stand right there. What do you want me to do? You want me to manufacture a quality doink with a mic stand? All right. Let me see if I can manufacture a quality doink with my mic stand. Here's one of my dog's toys, and it kind of resembles a football, right? So let's see if we can kick off this football. Ooh. Doink! There you go. I'm pretty sure that is manufacturing a quality doink literally by definition. Here, we'll do it again. Well, I tried to tell you so. Yes, I did, but I guess you didn't know. They be messing with field goals, and there's magnets in the poles. You lied to me. All those field goals I thought were so real. You lied to me. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You lied to me. All those field goals I thought were so real. You lied to me. And now I cry. Now I cry, cry, cry. Return of the doink. Here it is. Poof. Zzz. Boom. There you go. Another ball hits the pole. All right. There you go. That's an odd request, but I think I fulfilled it. There you go. I consider that a fulfilled request. I was wondering exactly how I was going to fulfill this request. And then it came to me. I was like, oh yeah, my dog has this toy on the floor that resembles a football. So I'll just go ahead and doink this off of this mic stand. And I think that's going to count as manufacturing a quality doink. So thank you again, Lemming, in a shiny metal box. Very generous of you. I really appreciate the super chat love. It goes a long way to helping me continue to do what I do for a living. You are supporting a real, genuine guy. You are supporting anti-AI. Your support is a sock in the face to the artificial intelligence that doesn't want me here doing what I do. All right. Entwine the design. I like that. It rhymes. It's like Jake the Awake and Entwine the design. Nice names that rhyme. Says, can you do Roseanne at Kirk's funeral trying to convince his wife this was part of the plan?
Well, even though your husband is no longer with us and it's like really sad and shit, what we're actually doing, we're getting a bunch of commies fired from their jobs. So that's actually a good thing. So you could say that his death actually did a lot of great things for America. Like get these fucking commies who are trying to ruin MAGA fired from their jobs. Now we're going to see a bunch of commies and lefties complaining that they can't find a job. So there's one good thing that came out of this situation, and that's why you should always trust President Trump's plan. Hello to all the Anunnaki and all of the Nephilim who might be watching right now. I hope you trust Trump's plan. Just because one man dies does not mean that we should give up on the plan. The plan is working. MAGA's getting stronger by the day.
There you go. I don't like to do the Roseanne voice for too long because my numbers go down when I start doing that. It's been proven that if I do too many Roseanne impressions for too long, people tune out. People are like, I can't stand that voice. And then they stop watching. Ralph, stop. Kyle says, I'm an independent farmer and I don't make much money, but I am a real person. Well, most people who hang out here and watch me are real people. We get the occasional troll and agent shill who comes in here and talks shit. But my audience, the ones who actually support me, the ones who enjoy this content, they're all real people and they're good people. And this is one of the last places where you can hang out with awakened individuals, where you can talk about celebrities being replaced and not get ridiculed. You can talk about elections being scripted and not get ridiculed. You can talk about government psyops and the sheeple getting duped and not get ridiculed by the sheeple who got fucking duped, right? So one of the good things about my live streams is this is where a group of us get together. Us real people get to have a hangout where we can talk about these sort of things that the sheeple would vilify us for, right? Where most people would call us crazy, say that we're cuckoo conspiracy theorists, right? This is one of the few places where we can get together and talk about what's really going on in the world amongst people who are awake and understand. In fact, you guys are my my outlet for talking about this sort of stuff, because I don't have any friends or family that I can talk to about any of this stuff. Most of my family are total sheeple who watch TV. So basically, you guys are my online family when it comes to discussing this sort of stuff, right? Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years. He's here. You guys remember the Wonder Years? This is him. Just kidding. It's not Fred Savage. But I like to call him Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years every time he donates, because it's like an inside joke. All right. So, well, it's not really an inside joke because I do it every single time. It's just some stupid thing that I say. Anyway, Kevin Arnold sending me a super sticker. Thank you, Kevin Arnold, for putting up with me calling you Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years all these different times that you've donated, and yet you still continue to donate. This leads me to believe you enjoy me calling you Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years. He likes it. He wants me to call him Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years. Thank you, Kevin Arnold. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. And I will try not to sing out of key. All right. Where's Winnie? Winnie, I saw you talking to that other guy in the hall at school. Do you like that guy? Kevin, I don't know. Winnie, who do you want to be with? Do you want to be with me? Or do you want to be with that other guy? Kevin, I don't know. That's my Kevin and Winnie impression. There you go. Nailed it. Yeah. Nobody does as good of a Winnie Cooper impression as me. Kevin, I don't know. Winnie, I saw you talking to that guy. Are you going to go with him to the prom? Or do you want to go with me? Kevin, I don't know. It's like every episode of the Wonder Years. Recognize the aposematic signs, says Jake. I can tell you are fit and handsome. No homo. I think you went smell good. You would crush it. Good idea. Or tell me to fuck off. Ladies love a great smelling man. Just saying. I think if you went smell good, you would crush it. That's a weird way to say. I think if you made yourself smell good, you would do good with the ladies. The way you said that is weird, but here's the deal. I'm always doing my own thing, so I'm never really around ladies that much anymore. I don't really go out to bars. I don't sing in bars anymore. I don't go out looking for ladies or whatever. And I don't even do the dating apps anymore. And so I'm kind of a loner. And I hang out in this office a lot, and there's no ladies in the office. Shit. Bro. You got him? Okay. Sorry, I just noticed my office door was open and my dog left the room, but he's hanging out with the guy next door. Oh. All right. So, yeah, man, I'm always doing my own thing. And so I'm usually thinking of like what video to make next. And I'm usually doing these streams and whatnot. And then when I'm out, taking trips and stuff, I'm usually in my own world, walking around with the dog and stuff. And I'm just kind of a loner. So there ain't really any ladies in my life. And so it doesn't really matter how good or bad I smell. If I'm a loner, then it's not going to matter. So I guess if I went smelling good and went on a date and she liked the way I smelled, then I would be more likely to hook up with her. I don't know. So thank you for this comment. Strange comment. Here's a fucking idiot. Jake tried to pull Luna. Oh, I did? How'd I try and do that? Yeah, you're just making shit up trying to piss me off. Jake tried to pull Luna. No, I called out a guy who attacked her with acid. That's not trying to pull her. She lives in another country. I've never even talked to her on the phone. We don't exchange emails. I've never hit on her. She's just a girl who got attacked by a psycho, and she was doused with acid by a hitman who was hired by Goatus. And so I made some videos calling out Goatus for hiring a hitman to attack the girl, and because he tried to kill his own infant son. And so being he scammed his audience and hired a hitman to attack this girl, Luna, I made some videos exposing the guy. So you're incorrect. I didn't try and pull Luna. Jake tried to pull Roseanne. All right, guilty as charged. I tried to hook up with Roseanne, but she turned me down. She wasn't interested.
There was this guy, Jake the asshole, and he was trying to get in my pants, but I told him to fuck off. I wasn't interested. He's not my type. I'd rather hook up with Trump or Alex Jones. Not trying to date a guy who's not fully on board with Trump's plan.
Kelly Christine, one of my more beautiful subs here. There's not a whole lot of ladies who watch my channel. The statistics show it's like 95% dudes who watch me. But here in the streams, there's a handful of ladies, and Kelly Christine's one of them. Very sweet. Maybe one day we can meet up, Kelly. If Kelly didn't live in New York, we may have already hung out by now, but she lives 3,000 miles away. So if I ever make it to the East Coast, I'll try and get in touch with you, Kelly. We'll meet up for a cup of coffee. What happened to that one lady who was on the show with me? You might be talking about Shay. Yeah, she did a couple streams with me, And then from time to time, she'll text me, but I haven't heard from her in a while. She has her family. She's married and has kids and has her own thing going on. And she made a few videos on YouTube for a while, but she never got monetized and never could get many views on YouTube. And then YouTube was censoring the videos that she was making. So I think she just gave up with trying to do the YouTube thing. See? There's a beautiful woman right there who wants to hang out with me, but she lives 3,000 miles away. That's how it works in my world. Are there women interested in hanging out with me? Sure, but they just don't live anywhere near me. And the ones who do live near me, well, they're usually not fans of my channel and they don't want to hang out with me. Yeah, just drive there, bruh. Yeah. 3,000 miles, right? It only takes like 3 days of nonstop driving to get there. Only costs like, a couple grand in gas. Literally the gas just to go across the United States and back. Like that's minimum a couple grand. Just to drive across the United States, not counting the food and all the other stuff that you need to pay for, but like just the gas going across the United States and back. All right, maybe not $2 grand, but probably around $1 grand. K9 says, Jake, are you still doing van life? Well, I rent this office and I can stay in this office. And so when I take my van out, it's just for trips. So I take my van and go places and stay the night in my van rather than booking a hotel. Here, one sec. Sorry. I had to grab my dog. So I don't live in the van, and I haven't lived in the van in years. I've been staying out of this office for like 3-4 years now. But I lived in a van for 1 year, and I found out that living in a van is not for me. So I like taking van trips, and I don't mind sleeping in the van when I'm on a trip, but trying to live out of a van without having a home base, without having a place to put all my shit and return to, I don't like it. So I tried it and I found that van life is not for me. And because I didn't have a big fancy van, so I didn't have like one of those Mercedes vans that you can like stand up and has a stove and fridge and all this stuff. So if I had some fancy van, then perhaps I wouldn't mind living out of it. But I have a minivan, and so I'm not trying to live out of the minivan. So mainly what I use my van for is if I want to go on, a week-long trip or even just a weekend trip, I can avoid the hotel costs and just put my mattress in the back of the van, load up my my camping supplies and whatnot, and then I just take off and stay in my van for however long I'm gone. And then when I come back, I have a place to unload my shit. So I have way too much shit to try and condense it all in a van. I've got 4 bass guitars here and a big ass speaker and amplifier. And I've got, PA speakers and all sorts of wires and music equipment and shit. And then all my clothes and all my stuff that I have. Yeah, I have to have a place to keep it. So yeah, so I rent this spot, and this is where I run my channel out of, and I keep all my shit here. And then if I want to go on a van trip, I load up the van and just go on a trip. So all right. Jake, Steven hanging out with K and Fee, your enemy right now in his stream, saying bad about you. Really? Why are you over there watching that? Are you somebody who watches that sort of thing? So Steven will stream for 12 hours for like 5 people. Are you one of the 5 people who watches that sort of thing? Here's the deal. People who hate me and have nothing better to do than sit around and slander me, they can have fun with that. They aren't going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. And it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. In fact, I'm learning to not give a fuck about those people or what they say. And if anybody wants me to get angry and talk about it, I'm just not gonna. So, fuck those dudes. They can have fun licking each other's assholes for all I care. Yeah, not even kidding. Yeah, this cyber bully calls himself King Steven, and he will stream for 12 hours and he'll just talk shit about anyone and everyone he puts on screen. So he'll put me on screen and call me a loser and say that I'm a shekels beggar and that I need to go get a real job, but he'll stream for 12 hours. Imagine calling someone like me a loser and then he's streaming for 12 hours for 5 people. Seems like something only a loser would do, right? Yeah, there's people who hate me so bad that they slander me and they make shit up about me and they use AI to like make me say stuff that I never said. They take my face and put it on other people's bodies and just a bunch of stupid shit because they don't really have anything on me. I'm not a bad guy. I don't scam my audience, right? So they have to like make shit up in order to slander me. It's pretty pathetic. So yeah, these guys are jealous that they don't have an audience like I do, right? So I'll be talking for 400, 500 people, getting super chats. And then when they see that, they're like, fuck this guy, Jake. I wish I had an audience like he does. I wish I had people supporting me like he does. I wish I was getting super chats like he gets. So then they say, Jake's a fucking shill and a loser and a liar. And they just seethe in their own hate. It's because they're just jealous of the fact that I have a supportive audience who digs what I do and sends me super chats. It makes them so insanely jealous that they don't know what to do, so they slander me to make themselves feel better. They think that if they can slander me and get people to dislike me, maybe that will get their numbers to go up, and then they'll have an audience like me, and then they'll get super chats like me. If they just slander me hard enough. I got a super chat. Let me go back and read this one from Trout Fishing at Hood Park. Said, visited parents yesterday. All they watch is Fox News 24/7. They think everything's a Democrat problem. Brutal to listen to. Keep up the good work. Oh, God, I can only imagine 2 right-winger parents who agree with each other that the Democrats are the problem. Every problem in the world is the Democrats' fault. The reason why everything's expensive is because of the Democrats. The reason why there's more homeless people than ever is because of Democrats. You know, yeah. Everything in the world that's wrong with the economy and all that stuff is because of the Democrats. Yeah. Can't stand those people. You know, I used to think that the far left was more annoying and more stupid and more brainwashed than the far right. But then I've come to find out the far right is equally as cringe, if not more cringe than the left. Because the right who worship Trump, it's like they have their head so far up Trump's ass. They they become more cringy than their counterparts, because the lefty libtards, they didn't worship Joe Biden. Like, I never met a lefty who worshiped Joe Biden the way that MAGAs worship Trump. Like, I never met a lefty who considered like Joe Biden to be their fucking messiah, whereas MAGA-tards literally look at Trump like he's Jesus, like he's their fucking orange jab daddy messiah. So, in my opinion, the MAGAs, the MAGA-tards, not conspiratards, the conservatards, that's what I was looking for. These conservatards that have their heads so far up Trump's ass have proven to be even more cringe than their left-wing counterparts. I didn't think it was possible, but after seeing these conservatards stick up for Trump no matter what he says, no matter what he does, it's reached a point where, yeah, how can those people point at the left and criticize them when they have their heads so far up their orange jab daddy's ass, right? So you either look up to him like he's the second coming of Jesus, or you think he's the Antichrist. See how they have that right versus left kind of paradigm thing going on? You either support him and look at him like he's a Jesus-like figure, or you're against him and then you call him the Antichrist. They can get you to love him or hate him. That's what they want. They want him to be this polarizing figure to where he gets your attention one way or the other. If you support him, he gets your undying support and attention, and you give him a pass no matter what he says and does. But if you hate him, then he gets all of your hatred, and you're thinking about him all the time and how much you hate him. And then you call him the Antichrist, and then you tell people he's the Antichrist. Either way, he's a lightning rod for people's attention. I would say he's the most famous person in the world right now. He's the most talked about person in the world that I know of. So I would say Trump is the most recognizable and famous person in the entire world. Speaking of, you know who we haven't seen much lately or heard from lately is Musk. So Elon Musk and Trump were like best buddies when Trump first took over his presidency for his second term. So when he got reelected, there was that like few months where it was like Trump and Elon are best buds, and they were sitting inside Teslas and making out and shit, and they were holding hands on TV like, you know, every day, like Trump and Elon and Trump and Elon. And then they had their like breakup, and now haven't heard much about Elon lately. So it seems like the attention for Elon has died down considerably, whereas Trump seems like if he's not the main story, it's pretty rare. Usually Trump is the main trending story almost every single week, and it's kind of rare that something happens to where he's not the main headline. Thank you very much, Trout Fishing at Hood Park, for your generous donation. Yeah, my parent is the opposite. My dad doesn't like Trump, and he thinks that Gavin Newsom would be a better president. So my dad is equally as ridiculous as your parents, except he's more of a ridiculous lefty. Shady Davy D says impression of Q&Fee and Queen Queefy. Queen Queefy. Oh, you mean Sanity Machine. All right, so an impression of Q and Feet and Sanity Machine. Hey, everyone. This is a hell realm. You're not going to escape this hell realm unless you listen to me in my 12-hour streams. Jake's a loser. Look at him. Just look at him. He's a demon. He's a demon. He's got demonic eyes. Look at him. Yeah, he is a real piece of shit. Once he started doing memberships, I tell him that I make thousands of videos and I never charge a penny because I believe the truth should be free. So I stab him in the back and I start slandering him. And then I turn my channel into a slander channel because it turns out I am the biggest piece of shit who ever fucking lived. And I'm obsessed with gay sex. I'm obsessed with having sex with the animals. And so that is why I project my obsession with gay sex onto Jake. And I make Jake say things that he's never said. And I edit videos to make Jake sound like he enjoys having sex with animals because secretly I enjoy having sex with animals, piece of shit. Yeah, Q and Fee's obsessed with gay sex, obsessed with having sex with animals. So he projects that onto me. And you know how he does it? He'll use AI to make it look like I'm saying gay stuff that I never said. So imagine you hate me so much that you have to make me say stuff that I've never said with like AI. You have to make my mouth say shit that I've never fucking said in order to slander me. Yeah, that's what he does. Fucking loser. Anyone who watches that is a fucking loser. Anyone who supports it supports being obsessed with gay sex. Anyone who supports the slander of me by those individuals, you deserve to seethe in your own hate. You deserve to listen to someone who's obsessed with gay sex. That's where you deserve to spend your free time. So anyone who enjoys that sort of thing, have fun with that. You're right where you need to be in life. Yeah, Q and Feet spent probably 50 hours putting my face on other people's body to slander me, taking my voice and running it through some AI program where he can type in all this gay shit that he comes up with and make me look like I'm saying it, right? So he's the one sitting there typing all this nasty gay shit and then making it look like I'm the one saying that. When you guys know, I've never said any of that shit, right? So if you're going to like take another man and make him appear to say stuff that he's never said, that's not really hurting me. That just means he's a fucking loser who spends his time doing something like that, right? So if he has to come up with a bunch of nasty gay stuff to make me say, he's the one who comes up with that in his head. I didn't say any of that nasty gay shit. He fucking came up with it and then made a video making me appear to say a bunch of fucking shit that I never said. Right? So I can't imagine sitting around making a video like that and then pretending like I really got someone good, like I exposed someone by making them say shit they never said. Yeah, there's a few people that decided that they want to stab me in the back and go listen to a guy project his nasty obsession with gay sex and sex with animals. Yeah, there's people who decided that that's so funny that they want to go be a part of that and ditch me and what I'm talking about. They can enjoy that. They can have all the fun they want doing that. Dude, it's downright nasty. I found out how shitty of a human being that guy is. And all I did was start doing a $2 membership, right? So because I did a $2 membership, Q and Fee comes over and tells me in a comment that I shouldn't do that, and that I shouldn't charge for the truth, and that he's made hundreds of videos, thousands of videos, and never charged a cent. And so he basically virtue signaled that like he's better than me and he would never do something like memberships. And he commented that on my page for everyone to see. Like he publicly wanted to put himself above me in my comment section, all because I started doing a $2 membership deal, right? He decided that was enough for him to stab me in the back. And then he started making videos where he slanders me and uses AI to make me say shit that I've never said. And the whole reason, because I started doing memberships. So I got to see his true colors and who he really is and what he's all about. And yeah, when you finally see who some is, yeah, it's really disgusting when you find out somebody's true colors and how they really feel and what they really think about. Yeah, I never knew he was that nasty and disgusting, but now I know. And I won't forgive him for it. And I know he won't ever apologize. And he's probably going to continue doing that sort of thing. So he can be known as the guy who fucking is obsessed with gay sex and obsessed with me. Yeah, that's what he'll be known as from now on. The guy who's obsessed with Jake and gay sex and having sex with animals and turned his whole channel into a slander Jake channel. Cool. That's what he'll be known as. And you know what I'll be known as? The greatest comedian and truther who ever lived. Anyway, that's as much time and energy as I want to spend on that. In fact, I think now is a good time to just go ahead and wrap up the stream. I don't know how I'm going to follow up dog intercourse, right? Soul for Sale said the earth is flat. I agree. Earth is flat, not a globe. Space is fake and gay. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up Wacky Wonderful Wednesday. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll catch you in the next stream, the next video, or whenever I catch you. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We might have got into some shit here at the end that I didn't really want to get into, but the beginning of the stream, we covered a lot of stuff. So go back and watch the beginning of the stream if you missed it. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. Good night, Sunflower. Good night, everyone. Good night, Rose. Good night, Davy. Good night, Weetulo. All right, Holden, if I do come to Santa Cruz, I'll hit you up. All right, gang, I'm out of here. Peace out. Much love. Catch you next time.